At the Water's Edge. Presented by iDreamInPlotPoints. A story-driven, episodic, immersive experience. More adventures await you on our website.
Are we almost there?
I don't even know where we're going, so I can't be expected to answer that question. Besides, what have you to complain about? I've literally everything on my shoulders, including you.
I am not on your shoulders, I'm on your back. And you were the one who insisted on carrying me.
That is because a certain someone refuses to wear shoes and kept groaning when stumbling over the undergrowth. Look tighter, you keep slipping. That doesn't mean grasp around my throat.
But you said...
Your legs. Lock your legs. Honestly, you are without a doubt the most.
The most what? Is it the pirates?
I can't believe it. It's actually here.
What is?
The village.
Village?
The lost village that the old man was blathering about.
The one who talked of magic and made the elixir. I want to see.
Careful of my neck. You look at it plenty when we get there.
Rooftops that had once been hidden revealed themselves as he marched ever closer. Pushing through the overgrowth and his boots hitting stones, he set her down to walk on the smooth cobblestones laid in uniform patterns.
Is this really what a village looks like?
Our party trod the entire stupid forest searching for this place. And here it was so near to shore. Why he led us so deep, I don't understand.
Mermaids.
Huh?
Mermaids. Thomas, look there.
She eagerly pointed to a large fountain in the middle of the town square. Rushing over the hard pathway to get a better look, she marveled at the large carvings of beautiful mermaids sculpted from alabaster, adorning a long dry marble water feature.
Why are they frozen?
They are not frozen, they are statues. Works of art created from stone.
Created by magic?
It's not magic. Anyone with talent can accomplish it.
Can you?
He shook his head while adjusting his parcels. She moved to the ledge of the ornately carved pool, running her fingers over the impressions.
Pretty markings.
Those are words.
They mean something.
Yes? The writing, it's a language I've not seen since my school days, and it's quite faint at that. It says, Vadenoriades.
What does that mean?
Lagoon of the Mermaids.
They're beautiful.
Yes, rather they are.
Oh, look at that.
She dashed to a large mosaic. Damaged with numerous tiles missing, but the intended depiction was clear. Creatures in cages.
More words.
Yes? I believe it says, Menagerie of the Mystics.
Menagerie?
You might call it a zoo.
You're speaking in circles.
Captured. Beasts held against their will. Caged and put on display.
She crossed her arms and breathed uneasily.
I do not think I like this place.
It's the burnt-out ruin of a village. What's to like?
Can we go, please?
May we? And no, not yet. Not till we've done a sweep for sustenance. It's probably too much to hope to discover a larder still intact, but let's have a look around.
Thomas kicked charred wooden beams as they searched through the significantly damaged structures. The more they searched, the more black soot coated the soles of Maya's tender feet.
How much longer must we walk?
For someone who wished for legs, you certainly bellyache about using them.
My belly is most certainly aching. Where is the food you promised?
I didn't promise, I hoped. And anyway, I did discover what was once a pantry. Why do you think that one building had so many rats? Judging by their size, they've been eating quite well all these years. It was utterly ridiculous the way you screamed at the sight of them. Untold thousands made their home in the forest, and you had nary a complaint then.
At least in the forest there are also berries.
All right, one more door and then we'll bugger off to the woods.
I don't want to open any more doors.
That one there looks promising.
He pointed to a pile of debris against a ramshackle building.
I see no door.
Of course not. What better way to keep a door hidden than to hide the fact there was ever a door at all?
Is that another of your rhetorical questions?
Do you see now? The edge of a door frame. Whatever is inside must be worth guarding.
Or more rats.
Have a little faith.
Are you all right?
Would I shout in pain if I were all right? That bloody beam fell against my tiger scratches. If I lay eyes on that beast again, I'll have him for a coat. There had better be something fantastic behind this door. You coming?
Are there rats?
One way to find out.
I'll stay as lookout.
He stepped through the door and began his investigation, leaving her alone.
Monster.
Changed your mind?
There's a monster.
What monster?
That one.
That? It's but a blooming bird. Noisy dodger, I give you that.
Please, can we go?
I'm not done investigating. Rest on my hip, you nervous little rabbit.
He lifted her up and she locked her legs around his waist.
Don't need you getting a splinter. Hold on tight.
She gripped her legs tighter around him as he stepped through the doorway. Though there were windows, they had been blocked by crudely hammered planks. Light strained to break through, but little to guide the way. His shuffled boot steps stopped at a faint clinking sound.
Did you hear that?
Is it the bird again or is it rats?
Neither. I'm setting you down for a better look.
No, Thomas, please don't.
We need light and I cannot help the situation with you around my neck like a stone. Stand on your feet.
She unwrapped herself from him and he steadied her.
I'll just pry these boards loose. Who knows how many years of decaying grime and dust have been locked away in this.
She ran to his side and quickly climbed onto his back.
Remove yourself. There's no rats.
Then why did you make that noise? What did you see?
The mother lode. Look.
She looked around the vastness of the now illuminated room.
What is this place?
It's the treasury. It must be. I can't believe it. The old man was telling the truth. He promised us riches beyond our imaginations and it's here.
I see doubloons.
He rushed over to the mounds of canvas bags and began ripping them open, spilling golden coins onto the ground.
You said you cared not for doubloons.
Not the paltry handful you once offered, but these. Only a fool would turn away from these. Swords, armor. Is that a compass?
He snatched it and held it aloft whilst turning in a slow circle.
Saints preserve us, it points true.
He grabbed hold of her waist and kissed her. Just as she thought his grip would crush her, he was roughly shoving a bag into her hands.
You can manage carrying a few bags, can't you?
How many are you taking?
I should like to take all of them.
All of them? But there's so many.
He tossed another bag towards her.
Come, come. I did my part hefting your bones around, you can pitch in.
My bones.
I haven't seen this many a coin since my days at the counting house. No, not even then. This is incredible. Suddenly, somehow I cannot breathe.
That bag doesn't have coins.
No, it most certainly does not.
What are they?
Diamonds. They put those ruddy doubloons to shame, don't they?
He began gathering sacks of the sparkling stones.
Forget the coins. Focus on the diamonds. I'll just bet that stupid old man intentionally led us through the forest of darkness to have us done away with so he could sneak back here and have these diamonds all to himself. Were he still alive, I'd very much like to know who he thinks is getting the last laugh now.
Thomas.
What?
What about the pirates?
To devil with the pirates. I've gotten what I came for.
Like a castle built of cards, the mountain of valuables shifted and collapsed around them. As the dust settled, his breath caught again in excitement.
Another room? Another triumph. Let's go see what else has been squirreled away.
I don't want to.
All right, scaredy cat. You keep gathering diamonds and I'll take a look-see.
He climbed over the toppled treasures and disappeared from sight. She sat on the floor and picked up a discarded diamond. Turning it in her hands in the beam of the sun, rainbows of color shone on her skin and sparkled in her eyes. Bundles of clothing and weapons dropped onto the hard floor as Thomas scrambled into view.
Will wonders never cease? This must be the stronghold of the material wealth of the entire township. And look here.
He held out a tarnished length of bronze.
A spyglass. We're as good as gone with this. The compass and the stars to guide us. Put these on.
He brandished a lump of pink satin and frills.
What's all that?
Dash it all, it's a dress, of course. A right deal more suitable than those breeches you've been wearing.
I am wearing what you are wearing.
Exactly. Arms up.
She raised her arms, and he slipped the voluminous gown over her head.
And up we stand.
He pulled her upwards, the long skirts pooling heavily.
There must need to be additional garments. Structural reinforcements. You should be presenting more ample. The gown is meant to give you more of a fuller form. Turn.
I cannot move at all.
He gripped her hips and rotated her, dragging the fabric through the filth of the floor.
Light as a bubble your form should appear.
These clothes are not light.
You'll simply have to adapt.
He shifted the skirts and placed shoes on her feet.
Proper shoes for a proper lady.
They're too tight.
You'll survive. Now you pick up those diamonds. You've already robbed me of notoriety, but I will at least still have fortune.
He rummaged and gathered more bags as she stared at him in confusion.
You say I robbed you?
Yes, robbed. I may no longer have a marketable commodity in you. But I will have a wife, and I suppose that is some small consolation.
What's a wife?
You. Perhaps there might be a cart or wheelbarrow of some sort around this burnt-out burg. You keep filling bags and I'll return shortly.
Thomas, what is a wife?
She stumbled her way to the door he had slammed shut, but could not open it.
Let me out. Thomas, you let me out of here.
She twisted in her newly acquired dress and spotted the swords on the ground.
Ah!
She tripped, falling heavily to the floor. Crawling, she grabbed a blade and attempted to remove it from its sheath. Either from excessive use or old age, the blade cracked and clanged to the floor, leaving a jagged edge with a bejeweled handle still firmly in her grasp. Gripping the yards of skirt, she dragged the sharpened metal across the satin and ruffles. She tossed the prissy pink heels aside, placed her palms on the floor, and pushed herself to stand. A quick spin proved delightful at this new length as the door reopened.
I have returned and your carriage awaits.
He moved past her and took up armfuls of bulging bags outside, loading them onto a feeble-seeming pushcart. She gingerly stepped over the ruined pathway as he made trip after trip carrying the lofty loot.
I reckon that's about all this old cart can withstand. Quite a tidy sum if I do say so myself. What's this?
What?
What have you done to your gown?
I made it so I would not stumble.
You stumble regardless of garments. I can see your ankles. Not just your ankles but your calves as well.
You have seen more of me than this.
I won't even bother mentioning the absence of your shoes. Get in the wagon. Now.
He lifted her up and set her atop the bundles.
From a harpy to a harlot.
I am not a harpy.
Do you not understand? I am trying to make you presentable. With these diamonds I can afford us a very comfortable life, but society requires that we adhere to certain standards. You will listen to me and do as I say, is that clear?
No.
No?
I do not understand why so near the end of our journey you are talking in such a manner towards me.
You would not know any manners at all unless I had taught you. Besides, my darling, the journey is very much just beginning for you and I together.
But I will be swimming with the tide.
If you must keep lying to yourself, I'll not waste my breath in arguing. Just know that when we reach the inevitable seaside and no fins do you sprout, you and I shall be sailing away jointly.
Sailing? Me?
Yes? The loot, myself and my missus.
What are you missing?
Not missing. Mrs. You're the wife.
In protest, she used her still human legs to kick bags, scattering diamonds to glitter on the ground.
Pick those bags up.
No.
He grabbed her by the wrist as she shouted and pushed her to the ground.
Pick up every last one. Right now.
She bit his hand, and he used his other to grip her long hair in his closed fist.
You pick them up or I will strike you, do you understand?
He released her, then shoved her again, and began scooping clumps of dirt and diamonds into the cart.
I swear you're more and more of a bother. I've a good mind to tie you to the nearest post, and have your shouts entice the pirates as a distraction, so as to make my escape. How you've been the smallest fish in the tiniest pond, and still turned out the most spoiled brat, is beyond me. Between your limited capacity for comprehension and my superior intellect.
A mighty blow to the back of his head stopped his musings mid-sentence, and he fell forward onto his knees, then face first into the dusty street. An engraved silver platter clattered to the ground as the reluctant bride took off running.
Thank you for listening to this episode of At the Water's Edge. Please visit our website for more storytelling experiences.